to check in with White Gold Corporation. It's in the White Gold District, which is just south of Dawson in the Yukon. It's a vehicle of the legendary prospector, Sean Ryan. We're going to be joined today by David D'Onofrio. He is the CEO of White Gold. Now, David has over a decade of experience in corporate finance and capital markets. He's had a focus on the natural resource sector. As an executive with the Power One Group, he has developed a depth of knowledge in representing, advising, and assisting emerging companies in accessing capital, advising on mergers and acquisitions, and managing their business. David's a chartered professional accountant and has also served in a variety of executive roles and director positions to an array of private and public enterprises. It's great to have you here, David, in your inaugural appearance on the Northern Miners Global Mining Symposium. We welcome you. You have our undivided attention. We look forward to seeing what White Gold is up to. You are on mute right now, though, David.
Thank you very much for having me, guys. It's a real pleasure to be here. Very exciting time for our industry for sure. So I think great to take this type of opportunities to get out there and tell the world about the White Gold Corp story. It's a relatively new company, having been formed with Sean Ryan in 2017. And, it's pretty tightly held between ourselves at the Power One Group, Sean Ryan, Agnico Eagle, Kinross, and Eric Sprott. But I think that it's such a very unique opportunity and a company that I think hopefully it should resonate well with the listeners here today, and glad to take this opportunity to tell you about it. And as you mentioned, so I am with the Power One Group. We've been investing and helping finance resource companies for 20 years now. And over that time, I think we've really been able to develop a sense of what it takes to lead to success in this industry. It's unfortunately a very tough and risky business. So to the extent you can mitigate your risks, I think that's always something you should be looking for. And that's really part of what drew us to White Gold, to help, obviously Sean Ryan, the notorious prospector, credited with, millions and millions of ounces of gold discovery. It led to a very exciting time in this area of the Yukon, around 2010. And just to take a step back, our property portfolio is in what's known as the Klondike District. And this was the area that was made infamous, obviously 120 years ago at the Great Klondike Gold Rush. And from that time, people were able to very easily identify the existence of abundant mineralization, and incredibly, there's been over 20 million ounces of gold that's been found in the Placer Creeks, early days by the prospectors. That the process has been modernized throughout the years, and it's continuing today. You probably see the shows like everyone on Discovery Network. But what hasn't happened, and this is just unbelievable, and this is our opportunity, is that there really hadn't been any modern day exploration done in this district up until about 10 or 12 years ago when Sean Ryan got there. And the reason is that this area was not glaciated, no outcrop, and the outcrop is the typical tool used by most prospectors. So most guys didn't know how to work there. Sean Ryan showed up, he had a thesis. Listen, with 20 million ounces of gold that surfaced, there's a very high probability to be more gold beneath that in the hard rock. And he was determined to crack the code and figure out how to find it, right? And what he was able to do, which looking back, in fact did crack the code, was use soil geochemistry to identify these mineralized systems. And once he identified the mineralized systems, he then would invest himself or along with other companies to do more advanced exploration. And incredibly, almost immediately when that work started in 2010, they made some very major, like multi-million ounce type discovery. The first was with Underworld Resources when they made the Golden Saddle deposit. And, that was immediately taken out by Kinross. The next was a little bit south of that, Kaminak, which Goldcorp bought for $500 million. So his thesis was proved correct, right? And what he then did on the back of that, very smartly so, and which got us so excited and wanted to be involved, he basically tied up the entire district, came to us and, guys, what I have here is a true district scale opportunity. It's 1 million acres. It's in this great district of Canada. It's got this prolific history. It's extremely underexplored. The little bit of work we've done has led to these amazing discoveries. What do you think about partnering and advancing this camp? Immediately, from our perspective, we really truly felt that was like a once in a lifetime type opportunity. We were thrilled to be able to participate with Sean. We've known him from the past, and really respected his abilities. And we were also of the belief that although this was earlier stage, the majors would want to get involved because it's just such a unique type of an opportunity. And that is exactly what happened. We spoke to a bunch of the major mining companies we've known through doing other transactions with different other juniors. And from that group, we chose Agnico to be our partner. So they invested in the company from the very beginning to become a 19.9% shareholder. We also then approached Kinross, who own the Underworld assets, to join forces with us. Basically, we have known, we have the guys who made their discovery. We figured, listen, like their assets in our hands would probably have the best chance of being advanced. And they were, really encouraged by the idea. So now here we are today. We have this huge district scale land package, which we think is like, owning 1 million acres of the Abitibi or Timmins or Nevada Goldfield. We're literally just scratching the surface, and we've been tremendously successful in growing the size of our deposits that we have and also making new discoveries. And that's what I really love about this company. You have the best of both worlds. You have a lot of value. Our defined resources now are almost about 1.8 million ounces in all categories. These are open in all directions. We've continued to grow them by identifying new zones of mineralization in a close proximity. We've been really successful in doing that in the last couple of years. And then we think the ability to continue to grow our deposits north of here, 2.5, 3 million ounces is there's a high probability of that by doing the work, and I can show you a little bit of how that's going to happen. But also on the other side of the business, we have this massive sort of greenfield portfolio with tons of blue sky opportunity, and we've been very successful in making a number of high profile discoveries there. The best example of that probably is on our Betty property, which is contiguous to Newmont's coffee deposits right along the same fault. They have several million ounces of gold there. We were able to drill in our maiden program 3.5 grams per ton over 50 meters from surface. And to be able to have this type of opportunity in this day and age is, it's like a dream come true. So we're obviously limited on time here. Just to give you a little bit more background. So these are our flagship deposits. They're 1 million ounces when we first acquired them. We're getting closer to 2 million ounces, 2+ grams open pit. This is remarkable to be able to have this in a junior company in a great place like Canada. Obviously, we have great partners that, we look to move this forward, but this is now on people's radar. There just aren't that many high quality assets in great jurisdictions like this around. And we think this will continue to grow. Very excitingly, these new zones of mineralization like this Ryan Surprise and Movies Ridge are on a 6.5 kilometer trend just to the west of our flagship deposit. Number of targets there have not been tested at all until just recently. You see some of the highlight drill holes there. Since we've been working on them, we tapped into a number of big results starting to come together here. We think we'll be able to add a number of ounces. These are the 2 zones we've tested so far. Very productive. We think they could connect. So this year's drill program will look to continue to grow these and see if they connect and look at a few of the other zones. And here, as I mentioned, is our Betty project. You see where it is. It's right beside Newmont. It's right beside Casino. Like this is true elephant country, great geology here. We're right along that trend. That's one target. We also have our Mascot target, which has seen some preliminary work as well. It's the biggest target actually on that property. There's been some great high-grade holes there, and we're going to be performing a first-time ever diamond drill campaign there this year. So, here's some more results. We followed up some of our earlier drilling, big, broad zones of high-grade mineralization. This is the kind of stuff you sort of dream for as a junior. These were some of our highlights from last year. Going into 2022, we are fully funded on the backs of this discovery. Our partner Agnico wanted to increase their interest in our company. I think this further validates the opportunity here. They've gone to 19.9%. We're fully financed now for 2022. And in 2022, what you can look forward to with our drill starting to turn in the coming months is continue to sort of demonstrate the ability to significantly grow our resource size around our flagship deposits, particularly some of the new discoveries up there, as well as follow up on these maiden drill programs. This Betty Ford, I think we're really, excited by what we've tapped into there and want to continue to demonstrate the robustness of that system, as well as some diamond drilling on a couple of the other targets on that property. So like I mentioned, pretty exciting opportunity for us. We just got to work to get the name out there. The analysts that do cover us have like 270 and over target type prices. We're trading about 70 cents here. So clearly a disconnect, but now, hopefully we can continue to sort of get a re-rating by doing, more good jobs in the field with what we've done out there and getting out and telling the story with opportunities like this.
Excellent, David. Thank you. Really good presentation. It is an exciting opportunity. I remember being in Dawson City a number of years ago, probably 4 or 5 years ago, when Sean Ryan was putting this together, and just getting caught up in his enthusiasm for what he thought was going to be there. Now that you're drilling it and starting to prove it up, it's really always amazing to see when someone's thesis starts to come alive. So very exciting. Yukon as a jurisdiction. Talk to us a little bit about that. How are you finding it? Pros and cons, challenges, upside potential?
It's been phenomenal. I'll start with the con. The one con is seasonality, right? Our work season is about 6 months of the year, so things just move slower than you'd like. But from a district to be able to work in, it's phenomenal. The government's announced the Resource Gateway program as an example a few years ago. That's where the territorial federal government have committed literally hundreds of millions of dollars in support of mining and exploration. They're putting road programs throughout the territory. A huge chunk of that road comes right through our portfolio, which is, an incredible value for us right now. As you see in any other sort of more developed mining camp, you don't need to find a 2 million ounce deposit to be economic. You find a few 100,000 ounces, that's a pod. You move that to, one of the operations in the district, which I think are coming. Newmont's advancing their coffee deposit. We have our Golden Saddle, I think, moves to a mine. I think that's further validated. You don't have companies like Newmont, the largest gold mining company in the world, and Rio now, who's invested in Western Copper, one of the second largest mining companies, will move into these types of jurisdictions without doing their homework. I think that speaks volumes. Victoria Gold, they just commissioned Canada's newest gold mine there. So you see that there is a pathway for getting things done. It's really a great place to work.
Excellent. Okay, David, talk to us a little bit about Agnico. Obviously, big news this morning that Tony McCooch will not be, is not going to be the CEO. So Amar Al-Jundi will be. What's that relationship like? How involved are they? Do you anticipate any?
It's been phenomenal. I'll put it like that. They were our partner right from the very beginning. They shared our vision. They have this, this prolific area in Canada has seen no exploration work. It's so underexplored. They sort of view us as their exploration arm for this part of Canada. They're an amazing company. They've been a great partner. They're very involved. They're at site multiple times a year. We're constantly giving them update, looking for their feedback and views technically, where they're so strong. They've helped us out, in different work programs in a number of different ways. It's really been a phenomenal relationship. It's a great company, and we're thrilled to have them as a partner.
Excellent. Yeah, that's a nice partner to have, no question about it. All right, David, listen, wonderful to have you on the show. We look forward to having you back at some point in the future as you continue to prove this out. We'll be watching with great interest. Thanks for joining us. Have a great rest of the day.
Appreciate it. Stay tuned.
We certainly will. We certainly will. Thank you, David.